So I'm gonna explain it essentially what I meant. So essentially people get it wrong. And essentially this thing of a good action don't make you a good human, and an evil action doesn't mean that you're a like bad person. Essentially, but he said it in more of a Christian way, essentially in a video. So essentially, God, yada yada, da 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 da. So essentially, what is meant essentially is the soul of a person, is the like good thing in them. Essentially, is what I mean. So we say now that someone do a good, we say now that someone do a good action, but they don't have no soul. They're still gonna go to hell. But vice versa, if someone do a bad action but they have a good soul, they're gonna go to heaven. In that sense, is what he essentially mean with that. So essentially, it doesn't matter action-wise what makes someone a good person in this like religion shit. Essentially, is what's inside. Essentially, what God see, and that is the like fucking ego. I can actually explain it because I understand it kind of good actually. So essentially, if you're a really egoistic essence in a generally sense, or like you have a really bad soul, then you're gonna like hell in that sense. It doesn't matter what good actions you do, because those actions is self-fulfillment essentially, and that is not what a good essence is in that sense. In the sense of God, essentially, is what I mean. A good essence in the sense of God is in an altruistic way. It's crazy though that word actually exists. It's nice that word exists. So that is what he meant essentially. I feel like he essentially explained his fucking words so fucking bad essentially in that video. It was a video like fucking watched, and I'm not religion by any chance, but I understand it's like point of view essentially in that sense, because that is how God's like in that sense see it. So essentially, we say that we're sinners, but it's not just like actions, it's thoughts, it's like what we are essentially, what we feel, think, and see essentially is what I mean. So essentially, if you think a bad thought is a sin, if you think everything you think in a sense is a sin, which is like fucked. But yeah, that is the interesting part about it. But essentially, it was something I did say too, in the sense of you don't know the soul though. Essentially, is what I mean. And what I mean by that is you can never know a human soul. Essentially, that is the only thing God can understand. Essentially, so essentially, if you're a bad, you're not bad by the action you do, or good, essentially, for God, essentially, is what I meant with that. Is what I essentially mean. He meant that the soul in it is what decides what God see in the person, essentially, is what it mean. So we're saying now that someone do a horrible action, essentially, but might have a really good soul, because like God see everything in that sense. Then it's like, yeah, he might come to heaven because of that, in that sense. But we say that someone do a good action, but they don't have a good soul. It's like self-fulfillment. Then they're gonna go to hell, essentially, is what it meant. And that's what I mean.